Hello again, this is John from Chiron Physical Therapy, and today I want to speak to you about a topic that in my 33 years of being a physical therapist has always been bandied about, and that's the term quality care. Many people will try to determine or define quality care in many different ways. Everybody wants to know is what is the best? Who's the best? Who's the best therapist or doctor or the best at anything? And in our profession, I don't define quality care. Let me put it this way. I don't define quality care as just being the best therapist, because you can be the best technical therapist. You can have the best degrees, the highest education, taking all the continuing ed courses. But that doesn't necessarily make you the best therapist, nor does having all the new technological advanced equipment. That doesn't necessarily make the best physical therapy office or physical therapist. And neither does the facility. You could be in the state-of-the-art facility with all the great things. To me, in my experience, what makes the best quality care, or what defines quality care, is really the patient experience. And it's not just the quality of how were you treated by the therapist or how did they do getting your injury better, but how did they treat you, the person? The person who is coming in, whose life's been interrupted because they've been hurt. The person who is in pain, who's not comfortable, and has to now go into a situation and be treated by someone who they don't know usually. And how is that experience? And that experience doesn't just come with how's your relationship with your physical therapist. To me, quality care is how is your whole approach and your experience when you are undergoing care. And that care starts with the first phone call. The phone call to the office, how you're greeted. How are you handled when you're explaining to them that you're hurting and that you need to get in? And how are they addressing it? How are they making you feel through the process of making that initial appointment and getting that information? How you feel when you're discussing the financial obligation that may be associated with it and any issues you may have with your insurance. Those people are just as important in developing that feeling of having a quality experience. To the person then, now you come in for that first appointment, how you're greeted, how are you brought in, how are you introduced? Are you really explained? Did the person listen to you about what your issue is? When the therapist is addressing you, are they trying to explain it, but also really hear how your life's been impacted? To me, that's part of the quality. It's not just the injury. I can fix anybody's injury, but how did that injury impact you? That's an important thing to you, right? It's not the injury. You're more about how's your life been impacted. So with us, in our team approach, it's from the moment you contact us, it's about how we're going to treat you, and we want your experience to be as best as it can be. Because let's face it, this is the best of the worst case scenario. You're hurt. This wasn't planned. You didn't plan on coming to therapy. Nobody ever plans to come to physical therapy. You're coming because something forced you in. So we're important, and our importance for us is to make sure that we make you feel cared for through the whole process. And then as we're getting you better, we're concerned not only on how much better you're doing with your injury, but how you're doing as far as how's it impacting. Are you transitioning back to your activities? Are you able to get back to the activities you were doing before? And unfortunately, with some injuries, that may not even be the case. But how are we going to help you understand what you will be able to do? Or if you're not able to fully get back to what you could do before, what's that limitation and maybe how that can be adapted? Those are things that need to be considered. So when I define quality care, and when we strive for in our practice, is that quality care is that when you leave us, or whenever you're there, I define quality care by the statement of the fact of the matter is that you felt cared for. And that's the experience we want to give you at Chiron Physical Therapy. We want you to feel cared for from the moment you are here to the time that you leave. That you were here and you were important, and what was going on in your life was just as important to us as it is to you. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help you.